Hey guys, I'm here, Lucas, coach from Escapist. Today I'm going to talk to Marc. He's our nutrition specialist.
Hey.
So I'll ask him a series of questions which he will try to answer within 60 seconds so we can get a lot of knowledge across in a really short time span. I'd say, let's go.
Let's go.
Straight into it. First question. What does a healthy diet look like in 60 seconds?
So in 60 seconds, I would say it would have to include obviously vegetables, a wide variety of fruit also. I personally wouldn't have any grains in there, although they can be included in a healthy diet. Personally, I include dairy as well, and obviously meats, eggs, fish, and things like this.
Okay, and how can a good nutrition benefit me?
I mean, nutrition can benefit you in a multitude of ways. I mean, if you're an athlete, you're going to get performance benefits. Anyone can benefit from weight management benefits of nutrition. You're going to reduce the inflammation if you eat well, and I think these are probably the key benefits here.
So you say you can reduce inflammation. Like,
Yep.
What do you mean with inflammation in that sense?
I mean that, so inflammation is basically an immune response from the body. So if it feels like a toxin is going in, it's going to give you some kind of response to combat that. So you're trying to reduce essentially the amount of toxins going into your body through a clean diet. And this basically benefits everyone in at least that you can speed up your metabolism and in essence help regulate your weight more easily if you have less inflammation.
You said that we can use nutrition to stabilize energy levels.
Yep.
How would we need to eat for that?
So we need to use something called slow carbohydrates or complex carbohydrates. These basically are, while they are still a carbohydrate, they don't metabolize in the body the same as such as sugar, which is a simple carbohydrate. So you're going to have energy over the course of a few hours, as opposed to a short, sharp spike like sugar would give you. So you can quite easily regulate the energy release through those carbohydrates. We can also use things such as fasting, which are going to improve your body's ability to mobilize fat for energy, and generally reduce the high glycemic foods like sugars, like I mentioned already. So these give you the short spikes of energy and then obviously dips afterwards. So that's going to be, these are going to be the ways I would stabilize energy through nutrition.
Now you said high quality carbs. What would be such foods that give us high quality carbs?
I mean, I really like sweet potatoes for this kind of job, you know, even normal potatoes. Quinoa is good. I said I'm not a huge fan of grains personally, but quinoa I would definitely advocate. And yeah, I think these are pretty much the top I would use. You obviously get fructose from your fruits as well, and you get many carbohydrates from all other kinds of vegetables, but these are the ones I would target as your carbohydrate sources.
Okay. Often you hear in the fitness world that all you got to do is count calories, hit your macros right, and you're going to be fine, but there's not much talk about quality. Is it really enough to just hit the macros, or is there more to it?
Well, I just mentioned high glycemic carbohydrates, for instance. So not all carbohydrates are made the same. So every carbohydrate has 4 calories, but sugar is not going to affect your body in the same way that a gram of potato is going to. So I mean, this proves the point essentially that the quality of the food, the quality of the macronutrient actually matters a lot. Yeah.
So we can say if it fits your macro, it's busted.
Personally, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. What nutrients besides the macros are important for a healthy diet?
Well, I mean, water is huge. Definitely, everyone should be hydrated. I mean, we can't function properly with, even 5% less than optimal hydration affects how our body functions. So water, and just conversely, I would say removing alcohol. So alcohol is like a massive anti-nutrient. It absorbs, it takes minerals out of the body, out of the storages we have in the body. So upping the water, lowering the alcohol. Sounds obvious, but that's huge.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. Can you recommend low carb or ketogenic diets?
I mean, personally, I go for more of like a paleo diet. I wouldn't say it's low carb, but it's low refined carb. And I think that's pretty much the diet which suits most people. So paleo with included like sweet potatoes and so on. Ketogenic, I mean, I've heard and met people that have had great benefits from ketogenic, especially in terms of weight loss and focus. Low carb was the other. I mean, the same thing. I mean, it's they're both reductionist diets, so you're removing a lot of, let's say, bad foods from your diet, so they're going to give you good results compared to a normal diet.
And what's about the yo-yo effect that we often hear talks about connected to those diets?
Sure, I mean, this is a phenomenon that's going to be the case though with any diet, right? It's not specific to keto or low carb. I think it's just any diet you try. If you yo-yo, then you're going to see negative results.
Okay. So we talked about it already a little bit. Fat loss, ketogenic can be good for that. What is in your opinion, the best and also the fastest way to lose fat?
Best and fastest way to lose fat. Well, I mean, the best, of course, is something which you can maintain, like for the long term, and not in terms of what people consider a diet, like an 8-week diet or so on. So again, paleo with low refined carbs, I think works for most people. It gives you a good choice of foods. You don't have to give up anything besides refined sugars, which I think everyone should consider something they need to give up at some stage. So yeah, I mean, I definitely would just stick with paleo with no refined sugars.
Dope. We want to build muscle.
Okay.
What's important to build muscle without gaining a huge amount of fat at the same time?
Working out is one for sure. I mean, making sure you work out optimally and, really, go for it, and your workouts is the obvious one. But in terms of nutrition, being careful with the calories, like not just splurging and going like massively anabolic into a huge calorie surplus, You need to really taper it up. So you slowly, go a couple of calories above your maintenance, and as your weight grows, you continue to increase the calories consumed per day. Along with increasing the calories consumed, you increase the protein, you increase the fat and the carbohydrates also to match, and just slow and steady, basically.
Okay. What are good plant-based protein sources?
So, it's a good question. I would say, although my diet and the diets I prescribe don't really fit this, I know that soy protein is good. I incorporate soy sometimes into my diets for certain clients that can't handle too much meat. Also, pea protein has been found to have good benefits, as has hemp. So hemp, pea and soy, I think, probably win in this regard, yeah.
So if someone wants to follow a vegan diet, can you get along with only those protein sources?
In terms of protein, I think you can. There's various other things to consider though, in terms of supplementation. But yeah, in terms of protein, I think those would be good. So, along with legumes and chickpeas and stuff like this would be good too.
Okay. What do you think about consumption of sugar post-training?
I think if you're going to consume sugar, it's the best time to have it. That's one way of looking at it. I think from an addictive perspective though, it's not a positive. I think that there's other ways that you can eat, such as, like I say, like high glycemic fruits and so on, that you can have to also get some minerals, etc. in with that meal, I think you're just tempting the addiction. Everyone has a slight sugar addiction, I think, nowadays and age. So removing it, especially removing added sugar, is something which can benefit everyone, and I wouldn't recommend even post-workout. Okay,
but there are a lot of people that say it's good to get your blood sugar levels back up after a workout because it's kind of depleted. What would you recommend instead?
Yeah, again, I mean, like, so we're talking about replenishing glycogen stores, yeah? So this can be done through, I mean, fruit isn't the most optimal way, but if you eat a decent amount of fruit will do this for you. Fructose can help you replenish those. I mean, in the end, it all can get broken down into glucose. So you can even eat starchy carbohydrates and, I mean, rice, things like this will replenish your glycogen stores. They become glucose in the blood and then in turn go back into the stores.
Well, it's just a little bit less comfortable to cook rice directly after workout.
It's a little bit longer.
Chocolate bar.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I definitely understand that point of view, but yeah, for the purpose of the listeners, I think this is the best way.
Or just eat a banana or something.
Exactly,
much better,
good
right?
Totally.
You talked a little bit about it already, but what are foods that you regularly include into your own diet? And maybe give us some of the best foods out there that we can eat.
Okay, like I'm really boring in terms of my diet, but I eat a lot of beef. Like I eat loads of beef, chicken of course, so my protein sources are basically beef, chicken and eggs. Maybe twice a week I have salmon. Then vegetables, I try and vary it as much as possible, but really broccoli, kale, a lot of green leafy vegetables, I'd say, with beetroot and so on, just to make it taste better. And then fruit, I eat really as much fruit as I can get my hands on. I feel like I need it for the energy. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I still eat a lot of dairy to keep the calories high. This suits me. I understand it doesn't really suit everybody, but I think if you can, and you can get your dairy from decent sources, then yeah, I mean, I drink milk and eat cheese and so on. So this pretty much covers my entire diet in 30 seconds.
Great. Fats are obviously important. What are some great sources of fat?
Also, I actually missed out nuts. So I do actually eat nuts as well, not a massive amount, but they are a great source of fat, polyunsaturated fats, and we know those are the healthy fats. But personally, I mix them all up. I mean, saturated, monounsaturated, unsaturated, polyunsaturated. I think just getting a mix of all of them. So that would be from like animal fats and cheese and oils like olive oil and coconut oil and so on. Just these are all great sources of fat. I mean, the fats I would completely avoid would be anything in processed foods. But I think all fats, whether from animal fats or oil or vegetables, they all have their place.
So real nuts, not party nuts that are fried.
No.
It's out.
Yeah, to clarify, this is just the natural version, like the aren't sort of covered in honey.
Too bad, the honey nuts are pretty good. But yeah, we want to go for the natural food. And there we're already at the end of our series of questions.
Cool.
It was really informative.
No, thanks.
Interesting. Thanks a lot for having you.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot, man.
Cheers.
See you guys.